that was amazing. I think Macy's ready to take my job.
I was going to say, I think we're all out of jobs at this point.
Incredible.
Yeah, that was incredible. So so happy to have you both here today. We've talked a lot over this past year about the talent of the industry, how we grow it, how we attract, train, and retain the next generation. And I think one organization that's been doing that for well over a decade is the CLFP. So Reed, for those in the audience that maybe aren't familiar with the history of the certification, can you give us briefly?
I know.
Why was the CLFP founded and what need was it filling at that time?
So the fun part is this is actually our 40th anniversary of the designation and 25th for the foundation. So yes, it's a big year for us. And I think some people in here might be shocked to hear that there were some unsavory business people in our industry. And so a group of gentlemen actually got together and put this together. So we've been around for 40 years, but most of us, almost everyone in the audience probably has not heard about us until about 2015 when ELFA endorsed us. And so I will tell you in 2012 when I took over, we hadn't filed taxes in 10 years. We had $6,000 in the bank and we had 150 members, and today we're at 1,750. And we're also in Australia and Canada, and I think Australia's here, so hi Australia.
Great, so the CLFP designation has become the sort of badge of honor in the industry. It's a very tight-knit community, but for those who haven't been through it, what does it really stand for, and what does it mean to earn that credential?
I said, and people, if you've ever heard me speak before, I always say this industry is like the mafia, but the good mafia, then you take CLFP and like 10 times 10x, and I'm looking at Billy Bagnell right now, and he's like, yeah, I know. We are a tight-knit community because if you think about what you have to do to prepare for that test, it's a lot. It's an 8-hour test, and I would say ask any CLFP here if it's easy, and if they say yes, they're lying. It's come a long way, and I feel like it's not for everybody, but for those who are interested in being the best at their job, the best at what they do, why not do it?
I'll add to that too, because the community piece is really important. This CLFP wouldn't be what it is today without, of course, Reed leading the charge, an incredible staff of just 2 additional people who have moved mountains, and a wide variety, a diverse group of people who bring their volunteer time to the board, dozens of committee members who continue to move the work forward. So that community is really built in all of the things that we really believe passionately about.
Yeah, and building on that, so obviously the CLFP has kind of grown far beyond its original roots, and you've built partnerships with ELFA, which we're so appreciative of, and NEFA and AACFBA along the way. So how have those collaborations sort of shaped the future, and how have it extended its impact?
I think it's really important for everyone to understand this is an individual designation. So NEFA, AACFB, and ELFA are all company members. And so without their buy-in and support, we wouldn't be where we are. And one of my favorite things is we typically get together for a picture at all of these events. And just seeing the growing number, I don't know if you saw probably LinkedIn posts, there was like 100 of us at NEFA. There's 120 of us here. And so keeping those partnerships close is front and center for us.
So fast forward to today, the CLFP has become the professional standard in equipment finance, so congrats. But Reed, how would you describe the growth you've seen in recent years, not just in numbers, but also in how the credential is valued and adopted?
Yeah, I would say it took a long time to, no offense to banks here, but to get the bank buy-in, and really that's what we're waiting for. So back when I took over, I think probably about 60 to 70% of our members were broker lessors. Today, it's 60 to 70% are banks. And my favorite story, I don't know if Tony Cracciolo is here, but he, at US Bank, we were in an elevator and he said, I'm gonna put my people through it. And it was like, it's happening, it's finally happening. And then the other banks were like, oh, shoot, okay, they're doing it, I guess we have to do it. And it's kind of gone on the roll since then.
That's great. So you've both accomplished like a tremendous amount in growing this, so congratulations to you. But we know that with growth comes opportunities. What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced with scaling the CLFP over the past few years?
I alluded to that a little bit. Part of it is the CLFP's very small staff, right? Reed and Mel and Sandy have done incredible work and continue to do incredible work, but with just 3, there's there's only so much bandwidth that can be done there. So that's one of the big challenges, for sure.
Yeah, I will back that up. I am, if you know me, I don't ask for help. I have a very hard time delegating. I'm getting better. But I would say we've had the same number of staff for over 1,000 members that we've grown from.
Wow, that's incredible.
Might need to change that.
And then the reach, right? The designation is a really important one, but we've been talking about all kinds of things for the future and for a long time, and how do we make that happen?
Right. So it sounds like you've built something incredibly strong, and yet there's also so much potential ahead. So, which brings us to what comes next. So let's talk about that next chapter and how CLFP is positioning itself to have a even greater impact in the industry in the years ahead.
Well, I'm really excited to talk about this today in front of all of you, but it's a big announcement for us, and it's a really important one too, in that the CLFP Foundation and ELFA have been talking for several months, and an incredible whirlwind of collaboration. It's been really impressive and invigorating to see how the two groups have come together. And as a result of that, we have an intention to proceed with a formal official affiliation together. And that's it's a big move. It's a big move for CLFP and certainly for ELFA too, to be able to bring those two bodies together to do some additional great work. There's still some work ahead of us. It's not done yet. There's still some boxes to check and some legal elements to finalize, but once that's done, the next steps ahead of us are to bring the documents to completion, to bring those to the board for a vote, and then ultimately to the CLFPs out there for them to vote as well. So there's still some things, but we're feeling really positively about all of that can come of that, and what the power of the two groups together can really do for the future. It's exciting.
We've talked about this, for quite some time, but I'm just thrilled for the industry about what this means and the impact that we can have and the reach that we can grow with CLFP. I think it's super important for both our people strategy and our advocacy strategy. Those are two things, James just talked about earlier this morning, and I think this helps us a lot in both of those, which will just benefit the overall industry, really, really nicely. So on that, Reed, do you have any thoughts on the future?
Well, I don't know if you want to know my thoughts, but thoughts in this future, it's exciting. This was not on my bingo card, as I say. ELFA approached us, but in looking at the potential, we've gone global already. We want to go even more global. But I would say the attract, train, and retain is pretty much what we do. So we, not only are we at UNT, we also work with HBCUs. So that's something we're very intentional about, is bringing younger talent in, because I don't know about you, but my hair is certainly graying. And I want to make sure that people know about this industry, because it is a wonderful industry and it's the mafia. I told Macy she's never leaving. And then training, that's really what we do. We always say we're certification first, but if you think about what you go through to become a CLFP, it's a lot of education. And then retaining, I will say that I am extremely proud that we typically have about a 97% retention rate. People who don't renew typically are just out of the industry. I would say if you pass that 8-hour test, why not just renew? It's not that expensive. But the big thing for us that really resonated with our board is accreditation. So we didn't ever advertise that we weren't accredited because it didn't really matter. But now that we're at 1,750 members, but especially when we're on Capitol Hill and meeting with, lobbying on behalf of our industry, it brings a lot more credibility. So that's one of the big things that we'll be working on, and we're very grateful for ELFA to help, because you probably have never learned about accreditation, but it's like a 140-page document. It's something I can't do, and it's very, very expensive. So thank you for paying your dues.
I didn't pay her to say that. So as we think about Canada's the next generation of talent, you know, how do you think this sets us up well for the future?
I mean, Macy said it better than anybody ever possibly could, right? And it's been a long time running joke for, I think, many people in this room that, how did you land in this industry? Oh, I kind of fell into it. I didn't even know it was here. And it's really exciting to see that changing, right? To see that we can bring our content, the body of knowledge, this handbook, create an actual course, let people who never have heard of us before, let them know that there's something that is out there for them. Our industry touches everything, and to be able to give that to them and to be able to partner to have that voice be even louder, to be even broader, to span across the globe is fantastic. So I think that that's the biggest thing to me. I mean, Macy said it absolutely best, but it's the excitement that comes with it, the passion. That's what I think that the younger generation wants to feel, and that's what we have to bring them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think if Macy's any indication, the future is certainly bright. So glad we were able to partner on that and get to know her through this whole process, which has been amazing. So I just want to thank you both. Just note, I'm so excited about the future, and I'm really looking forward to working closely together. So,
Us too.
right?
Thank you.